Welcome everyone to today's video where we're diving deep into a powerful financial strategy that could change the way you manage your money forever. Forget complicated jargon and unrealistic advice. We're going to explore a straightforward system known as the October 15th, 75 rule, a principle that can help you build wealth regardless of your current income. Whether you're earning $10,000 a year or $1 million, this framework adapts to your financial reality. It boils down to 3 core steps that you can implement immediately. Let's break it down. The first component of the October 15th, 75 rule focuses on how you allocate your income for spending. The principle is simple. For every dollar you earn, the absolute maximum you should allocate for spending is 75 cents, or 75% of your income. This covers everything from your essential needs like housing and food to discretionary spending like vacations and those impulse buys we all occasionally indulge in. Now, if you find yourself consistently spending less than this 75% threshold, that's fantastic. The more you can keep below this limit, the better your financial position will be in the long run. However, the true beauty of this 75% guideline lies in the flexibility it offers and the 2 crucial behaviors it encourages. Firstly, adhering to the 75% spending limit inherently pushes you to seek out more cost-effective alternatives. Think about it, do you really need premium gasoline, or will regular suffice? Is the organic, free-range guacamole truly worth the extra expense compared to the regular option? Should you be doing all your grocery shopping at high-end stores, or could you find comparable quality at more budget-friendly retailers? This focus on finding cheaper alternatives is a common thread I've observed among many wealthy individuals. It's something that became particularly apparent to me after starting my own business and having the opportunity to network with other entrepreneurs. As someone who leans towards being an introvert, this networking was initially a significant step outside my comfort zone. But the insights I gained were invaluable. One particularly eye-opening experience occurred when a group of us went out for dinner after a business event. Despite the apparent financial success of everyone present, when the waiter came around, the conversation quickly turned to happy hour specials and the most affordable wine options on the menu. And when the bill arrived, I was genuinely surprised to see people meticulously calculating how to split the cost down to the very last cent, ensuring everyone only paid for exactly what they had consumed. These were not individuals struggling financially, they were all millionaires, yet they maintained a conscious awareness of their spending. Secondly, the 75% spending limit compels you to prioritize value over mere acquisition. You've likely heard the common piece of advice to cut out small, seemingly insignificant expenses like daily coffees and instead save and invest that money. While there's some merit to being mindful of these recurring costs, I believe a more effective approach is to evaluate the true value you receive from any purchase, big or small. Before you buy anything, ask yourself, how much do I genuinely value this item or experience? If that $5 iced coffee brings you significant joy, boosts your productivity, enhances your social interactions, or reduces your stress levels for the entire day, then the value you derive from that single cup might far outweigh its monetary cost. In such cases, it's perfectly reasonable to indulge. Instead of obsessing over every small purchase and trying to pinch pennies on everything, a more impactful strategy is to focus on the larger, less frequent expenses. Think about a brand new car, a massive 100-inch television, or perhaps even a novelty cheese dispenser. These significant purchases might provide a temporary spike in happiness, but often, after the initial excitement fades, your baseline level of happiness returns to where it was before the purchase. That $70,000 car eventually just becomes your regular mode of transportation, serving the same fundamental purpose as a more affordable vehicle. Now, let's revisit the scenario where you manage to spend even less than 75% of your income. For example, if you consistently spend only 60%, that leaves a 15% difference. It's crucial that you don't simply reallocate this extra 15% to more spending. Instead, hold on to that difference, because the next 2 components of the October 15th, 75 rule will show you exactly what to do with it. The second part of the October 15th, 75 rule is the 10% allocation for savings, specifically for what we call a cushion fund. A 2022 study revealed a concerning statistic: a significant portion of the population struggles to handle unexpected expenses. In fact, a large percentage of Americans reported that they couldn't afford an unforeseen $1,000 expense. Think of your cushion fund as your personal financial safety net, a cash reserve specifically designated for genuine financial emergencies. It's crucial to understand what constitutes a true emergency. A wild night out with friends, a spontaneous vacation, or a craving for fried chicken do not qualify. This money should only be touched when truly significant and unavoidable situations arise. Perhaps your house floods, you find yourself stranded in an unfamiliar place with no other resources, or any other scenario where your life is genuinely disrupted and you have limited options. I can personally attest to the importance of having a robust cushion fund. About 8 years ago, I was involved in a severe car accident that caused extensive damage to my vehicle. I was in a state far from home and didn't know anyone. The mechanic estimated the repairs to be around $15,000, a substantial sum that caused me considerable stress as I tried to figure out how to cover it. I even briefly considered taking out a loan, despite knowing the long-term cost due to interest would be significantly higher. Then, I remembered my cushion fund, the savings I had diligently set aside precisely for emergencies like this. Having that financial buffer provided immense relief and allowed me to handle the situation without incurring debt or jeopardizing my financial stability. Determining the ideal amount for your cushion fund is a straightforward process. Open up a spreadsheet and calculate your total monthly expenses. This includes everything from rent or mortgage payments and utility bills to groceries and any recurring obligations. Once you have this total, multiply it by 5. The rationale behind this is to have enough saved to cover approximately 5 months of essential living expenses. So, if your total monthly expenses are $2,000, your target cushion fund should be $10,000. Once you've calculated your target amount, the next crucial step is to commit to saving consistently until you reach that goal. Many people find visual tracking tools helpful in this process, allowing them to see their progress and stay motivated. Equally important is where you choose to store your cushion fund. While the majority of people keep their savings in traditional savings accounts offered by large banks, there are significantly better options available, known as high-yield savings accounts. These accounts offer substantially higher interest rates, allowing your money to grow at a much faster pace. Consider the difference. A traditional savings account might offer a national average interest rate of around 0.5% annual percentage yield, APY. If you deposit $10,000 into such an account, after a year, the bank would typically pay you a meager $50 in interest, leaving you with a balance of $10,050. In contrast, a high-yield savings account could offer an APY of 4% or even higher. On the same $10,000 deposit, you could earn $400 in interest over the year, resulting in a balance of $10,400. The difference in growth is significant over time. Research and compare different high-yield savings accounts to find one that offers a competitive interest rate and suits your needs. However, a common pitfall many people face is not knowing when to stop actively contributing to their cushion fund. The reality is, you don't need to save indefinitely in this account. Once you have reached your target of approximately 5 months' worth of living expenses, it's time to pause further contributions to your cushion fund. You should, of course, continue to hold on to that 10% allocation you were initially saving, but the destination for those funds will now shift to the final component of the October 15th, 75 rule. This brings us to the final and arguably most crucial element of the October 15th, 75 rule, the 15% dedicated to investing for your future. This is where your money truly starts to work for you, building assets and generating wealth over the long term. The core principle here is to put your money to work so that you don't have to rely solely on your labor for income. Real wealth isn't typically built through a high-paying job alone. While a good income is undoubtedly important, the wealthiest individuals often derive a significant portion of their wealth from the assets they own, investments, real estate, and businesses, among others. Unfortunately, our traditional education system often focuses primarily on how to secure employment, rather than teaching us the principles of wealth building through asset acquisition. After reading Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, this concept truly solidified for me. It became clear that you could be earning a substantial income and still be financially precarious if all your money flows out as quickly as it comes in. Conversely, if you own income-generating assets, you can potentially spend your earned income today and still maintain or even grow your wealth in the future. Like many people, I didn't learn these crucial financial principles in school, nor were they explicitly taught by my parents. I had to actively seek out this knowledge through reading books on finance and investment, such as The Psychology of Money and The Intelligent Investor. This is the kind of knowledge that, once acquired, is impossible to forget. However, if you don't make a conscious effort to learn about investing, you might never unlock its potential for building long-term wealth. When it comes to investing, there are two specific types of accounts that offer significant tax advantages and should be prioritized: the Roth IRA and the 401k. First, let's discuss the Roth IRA, which stands for Roth Individual Retirement Account. The primary advantage of a Roth IRA is that your earnings and profits grow tax-free. This means that when you reach retirement age and withdraw your earnings, you won't owe any taxes on that growth. A notable example is Peter Thiel, who famously grew his Roth IRA account to an astonishing $5 billion. The remarkable aspect is that when he eventually withdraws those funds in retirement, he will pay zero in taxes on the accumulated gains. The caveat with a Roth IRA is that you can only contribute money that has already been taxed. In other words, you contribute from your net income, the money you receive after taxes have been withheld from your paycheck. Due to the significant tax benefits, the government limits the amount you can contribute to a Roth IRA each year. As of 2025, if you are under the age of 50, the annual contribution limit is $7,000. If you are 50 or older, the limit is slightly higher at $8,000 per year. Opening and contributing to a Roth IRA is a relatively straightforward four-step process. First, you need to have what's called earned income, meaning income derived from working for someone else, yourself, or a business you own. Second, you'll need to visit the website of a brokerage firm, such as Fidelity, Schwab, or Vanguard, and select the option to open a Roth IRA account. Third, once your account is open, you'll transfer funds from your regular bank account into your Roth IRA. Fourth, and this is a critical step that many people overlook, you actually need to choose and purchase investments within your Roth IRA account. Simply having money sitting in the account won't lead to growth. Don't worry about the specifics of what to invest in just yet, we'll touch on that shortly. The second crucial investment account is the 401k, which is an employer-sponsored retirement savings plan. This means you can only have a 401k if your employer offers one as part of their benefits package. Thankfully, many companies do. Unlike a Roth IRA, contributions to a traditional 401k are typically made with pre-tax dollars. This means the money is deducted from your paycheck before taxes are calculated, potentially lowering your taxable income in the present. You will, however, pay taxes on these contributions and their earnings when you withdraw the money in retirement. The idea behind this structure is that many people anticipate being in a lower tax bracket during their retirement years, thus paying less in taxes overall. With a 401k, you typically designate a percentage or a specific dollar amount to be automatically deducted from each paycheck and contributed to the account. The annual contribution limit for a 401k is significantly higher than that of a Roth IRA. As of 2024, the limit is $23,000 per year. One of the most significant advantages of a 401k is that many employers offer a matching contribution. This is essentially free money that your employer contributes to your 401k based on the amount you contribute. A common employer match structure is a 100% match on the first 3% of your salary that you contribute, followed by a 50% match on the next 2%. Let's illustrate this with an example. If your annual salary is $65,000 and you contribute 5% to your 401k, you would contribute $3,250 over the course of the year. Under the matching structure described above, your employer would contribute an additional $2,600, 100% of the first 3%, which is $1,950, plus 50% of the next 2%, which is $650. This would result in a total of $5,850 being added to your 401k for the year, with $2,600 of that being completely free money from your employer. If your employer offers a 401k match, it is almost always financially advantageous to contribute at least enough to maximize the employer's match. Once you have either a Roth IRA, a 401k, or ideally both, the next crucial question is, where should you invest your money within these accounts? Before I share my personal investment strategy, let's consider a compelling reason why wealthy individuals prioritize investing in assets. Imagine you invest just $100 every month for 50 years and achieve an average annual rate of return of 10%. Over those 50 years, you would have personally contributed a total of $60,000, $100 x 12 months x 50 years. However, due to the power of compounding in the stock market, your total portfolio value at the end of those 50 years would be approximately $1.4 million. This illustrates the incredible potential for wealth growth over time through consistent investing. For most people, particularly when starting out, investing in a low-cost index fund or ETF, exchange-traded fund, is a highly effective and relatively simple strategy. Instead of trying to pick individual stocks, which can be risky and time-consuming, an index fund or ETF allows you to invest in a diversified basket of hundreds or even thousands of different stocks. This automatic diversification helps to reduce your overall risk. For example, if you were to buy an S&P 500 index fund, with a single investment, you would own a small percentage of every single stock in the S&P 500, which represents the 500 largest publicly traded companies in the United States. By doing so, you automatically achieve broad diversification across various sectors and industries. Furthermore, the expense ratios, the fees charged to manage the fund, for most index funds are typically very low, making them a cost-effective investment option. Index funds are often considered a solid and relatively safe investment for long-term growth, especially within retirement accounts. Historically, over the long term, broad market index funds have delivered average annual returns of around 8% to 10%. While there will naturally be years with higher and lower returns, on average, your money has a strong potential to grow and compound significantly over time. Personally, the majority of my investment portfolio is allocated to passively managed index funds, such as those tracking the S&P 500 or a broad total stock market index. These are easy to understand and require minimal ongoing management. However, the specific funds you choose to invest in are ultimately your decision. There are a wide variety of ETFs and index funds available, catering to different investment goals and risk tolerances. If the specific funds I use are not available in your 401k or preferred brokerage account, simply look for other index funds that invest in a broad range of US or global companies. For the most part, this approach will put you on a solid path to long-term wealth building. Implementing the October 15th, 75 rule is a powerful step towards taking control of your finances and building a secure future. Remember, it's not about how much you earn, but how you manage what you earn. By consciously allocating your income for spending, prioritizing savings for emergencies, and consistently investing for the long term, you can significantly improve your financial well-being and work towards achieving your financial goals. We're passionate about sharing financial wisdom that empowers you. Each video takes us 20 to 25 hours to research, film, and edit with care. If our content has helped you grow, please consider making a small donation using the QR code on the screen or the link in our bio. Your support means the world to us and helps us keep going strong. Thank you.